This conference will now be recorded.
Welcome to 479 Spotlight, where we provide free promotion to local businesses in NWA to give them more exposure and create more trust in the community. Overall, we want to provide an inside look to our local business heroes that keep NWA running. My name is Brock Holland, a small business owner in Fayetteville, Arkansas, and founder of 479 Spotlight. And today we have Rachel Korpella with NWA Networking, and they are based out of Rogers, Arkansas. In these interviews, I like to have two main focuses. First, we're going to address how, in this case, this organization can help you maybe as a consumer. And then we're also going to talk to Rachel just about how she got started here entrepreneurially for those that are interested in that side of things. So, Rachel, let's just define what exactly does NWA Networking do?
Well, hey, Brock, thanks for having me on. NWA Networking is a resource that my husband and I started about 3 years ago when
Okay.
we discovered the value of networking and really how people didn't really understand what networking was and how it could help them.
Mm-hmm.
As a web and graphic designer, I had been networking for about 5 years at that time and had really built my business on the backbone of networking. And that is
Okay.
just going to local meetings and meeting other business owners and not even business owners, but other business people to see if we can do business together, or even if not, but if we can help each other find quality referrals.
Okay.
So
Great.
as I went through the process of networking, I'd meet people and they'd say, "Hey, where else can I network?" And I'd write on the back of a napkin, "You can go here on this day. You can go here on this day. You need to make sure you check out this one because this will work well for your industry." And we really discovered, why isn't there an online resource for this? I looked
Mm.
and there wasn't one, so I decided, hey, I'm a web designer. I'll make one. So we created a website for people to find out where to go networking, and it's 3 years in the running now, and we feel that we provide a lot of value to the community.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I've been to a couple of your events that you've hosted as well. So tell me this, you're obviously very passionate about networking. That's very clear. What would you say to somebody who's on the fence, who is like, maybe I should, block out an hour of my time to go do that, or maybe even a couple hours a week to do that? What would you say to them?
So before I first started networking, the whole concept seemed very foreign to me. I'm naturally an introvert, so I don't go looking to start conversations. So the idea that strangers, complete strangers, would go to a certain place at the same time for the purpose of meeting each other just seems so weird to me, but it really does work. There,
Mm,
I had previously built my business online, and it just was struggling, and I needed to break into the local market. So if that's what you're looking to do, now not everybody needs to network. Let me make that
mm,
clear. Not everybody needs to network. It's pretty easy to know if you do or don't. But if you are selling to the local community, and it would do you well to meet local business owners or even just anybody,
hmm.
um, networking is for you. It's the difference between a cold call and a warm lead.
Okay. Okay. So let's maybe ease this if there's any type of fear. Kind of walk me through what it's like if someone comes to one of your events. What would they see? What would they experience? Just to kind of ease any, jitters and nerves.
Sure, sure. And Brock, let me be clear. I promote all sorts of events. We have
Okay.
hosted a few, but that's not our main focus.
Okay. Okay.
There's
Thank you for clarifying.
Sure, sure. There's lots of different kinds of events. There's your typical chamber events are the ones that everybody's familiar with, and but that's not the only kind that there is. Um, like the stigma that you might see is that you go in a room and it's up to you to meet people, and that is the case in a lot of networking, but they're not all that way. Some of
Hmm.
them are a round robin type where you have an opportunity to give your elevator speech and listen to all the others in the rooms. And for a
Hmm.
beginner, I would say that's probably the best place to start because it lowers your anxiety. You don't have to be on the whole time. You
Hmm.
get to say what you've got to say, and then you can kind of feel out the room, see if there's some other people that you would like to meet.
Right. Right.
But going in, it can be very overwhelming. But I would just recommend give it a try. Give it a try a couple of times.
Hmm.
See if you meet some people that you can connect with. And I'm not saying sell to people, just connect with people. See if you can find some common ground.
Okay.
And you'll find that as you go through networking, you'll see some of the same people over and over. And as you develop some friends in the networking community, it becomes even more easier.
Okay, great. So then let's step back. So as far as exactly what you're doing with NWA Networking, you've built this site, nwanetworking.com, right?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody visits that site. Why are they coming to you? What are they finding when they visit your site? What are you promoting?
The biggest page that gets our traffic is our calendar page, and
Okay.
basically I have a massive calendar of every networking opportunity available, and we put them in there. We keep updates on there. There's lots of regular ones, but then there's one-offs that we try to add also. So I
Mm,
do my best to keep that accurate.
hmm
Sometimes things slip in and I don't see them. So I'd love for anyone who has a networking event or knows of one to just let me know, and we'll make sure we get it up on that public calendar.
Okay. Okay, great. So yeah, anybody's out there listening that's trying to promote a networking event, get in touch with Rachel and she can help get that listed up there. You don't happen to have any success stories that you know of where somebody said, yeah, I went to your site and because of your site, like I got connected with some people and now my business is blowing up. Anything you can share from that front?
Yeah, actually, I do, but I was not prepared with a specific story.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That a little bit on the spot. That's okay. So generally speaking, though, you've had people that have said, "Hey, yeah, I totally use your site. I hopped on. I found some places to go. I started going regularly. Next thing you
Mhm.
know, I'm starting to have some business coming." Okay, that's awesome. I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
that's. I've been in the shoes of like, should I go? Should I not go? And to know that that happens just gives someone like me kind of a little bit of hope and a little bit of like belief to say, "Hey, this could be worth it," and
sure.
could really be a game changer.
Well, I take that back. I have my own story.
Oh, okay. Well, hey,
Um,
let's do this. Where do people need to go from both, let's just shameless plug time. Let's, tell them where to go and what to do.
you can find us on NWANetworking.com. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. Yeah, we're on Twitter, but we don't really do much there.
Okay, okay. That's fine. Awesome. Okay, so for anybody out there who's on the fence with networking, definitely go check out nwanetworking.com and all their socials, and you can be updated on local events. But yeah, let's shift to the entrepreneur side of things. That's I think where we're going. So share that story. What's your story in regards to networking?
So I've been in graphic design for over 20 years.
Okay.
I started before I had any kids, and went the normal route. I had kids and I stayed home, and then I went back to work, and then I had more kids and I stayed home, and I just didn't want to play that game anymore. So I went into freelancing so that I could be home with my kids, and it worked
Hmm.
out great for several years. I freelanced through the crowdsourcing market online, and it worked out well until it didn't. And I came to a crossing point where I needed to choose to either go back to traditional work or expand my business through local networking. And I had a mentor that helped me know where to go and what to do. And so I went to my first networking event, and it was terrifying. It was awful. Not
Can
the event
I
itself.
Yeah, can I step back? What happened? You said you were doing the freelancing thing and then it stopped working. I guarantee you there's some freelancers listening, especially in this day and age, and they're sitting there saying, "Yeah, I'm at home working on my computer. Why do I need to do what you're talking about? What failed?"
Um, it was around 2012. I believe that before then I had a pretty good market, and then the market seemed to open up to the entire world, and all of a
Mm,
sudden I was competing with a lot more people with a lot lower price points, and it was just more difficult to get jobs and
okay.
actually make good money.
Yep, yep. Totally see where you're coming from. Okay, great.
Um, where was I?
So
Oh,
then
so I
you,
went to the first
yeah.
networking event, which was a chamber event. It was not terrible in and of itself, but it was completely open. So my mentor did lead me around and introduce me to a lot of people, which was very helpful. And I did meet one person who invited me to another networking event the very next day. And I thought, okay, well, I'm a big girl, I can do this. So I went to the next one, and this one was quite different. It was more of the round robin, like I mentioned, and I was able to give my elevator speech and listen to the group, and it's just very warm and inviting, and completely 180 from the one I had been to the day before. So I
Hmm.
thought,
Hmm.
okay, this I can latch onto. I can do this. I wasn't selling anything. I hadn't built any trust from anybody yet,
Hmm.
but I felt, okay, this I can put my foot forward. I can do my part, and I can be here so that basically I can be available if anybody needs me. Um, the biggest part of networking is people want to do business with people that they know, like, and trust. So
Yep.
your goal in networking is not to sell anything; it's to become known, liked, and trusted, and
Hmm.
then the sales come.
Awesome. That's fantastic advice. Um, okay, so then this obviously comes up every time I do these. Let's talk about COVID. So 2020 comes, networking options just like plummet. What have you
Yeah.
done during 2020 COVID to pivot? And especially even with I guess first your site, right? And then second just you. Let's talk about that,
Okay, so yeah, there was not a lot of networking to be had.
right?
So we now those first couple of weeks in March, we did our best to inform people, hey, this event is not happening. This event is not happening. This event is happening, but it's going to be online, and here's where you go. So
Right.
we pivoted from a, hey, we're going to go to all these meetings, to, okay, we're going to sit down and we're going to organize uh, the Zoom events that you can attend. And
Hmm.
now, instead of giving advice on how to give your speech in a in person environment, then we are giving tips on, okay, how to look your best on a video conference, uh, how to minimize distractions, things
Hmm.
like that.
Hmm.
And as events started opening up again, well, now we're becoming a news source, so we're letting people know,
Ah.
now you can go to this place, but it has moved. Now it's here, and the time is different, and there's limited seating. There's some events that are still online, and it was a lot more things to keep track of.
Hmm.
But we've tried our best.
Yeah, yeah, and that's really all it comes down to, especially with what happened. I mean, at the end of the day, you either try your best or you quit. And I think that the ones that tried their best have come up out, on top of things. And yeah, if you just quit, then you didn't get anywhere, obviously. But so that's really cool. That's really so. And then as far as like your business, your agency that you're running here, 2020, like, were you able to keep clients? Were you losing clients? Like, how did you overcome that?
We did lose a little bit of work, and it just makes sense because not,
Yeah,
when businesses decrease, they just don't need the marketing that they needed, and that's
right.
okay. It was really interesting though, because I had a lot of customers, new customers, who had been displaced and started businesses to keep up with COVID, and they needed some marketing. So my business, as far as the web design, it shifted a little bit, and we probably decreased some in our revenue, but it was, my kids were home.
Yeah.
It was about as much as I could keep up with, so no
Yeah.
complaints here.
Oh, I understand completely. I got three little ones at home, and I don't know. Right now, I'm actually using Startup Junkies location, and it's been fantastic to be able to come and just, get away from all of the noise.
Yes, yes. I tell you, the biggest, and I'm in my home office right now. Really, the biggest effect that I felt was when Starbucks closed, because that was like my office.
Yeah. No, I understand. I understand. All right. Well, where do you see NWA Networking in the next, 6 months to a year from now? I'm assuming things are just going to keep growing up as
Sure.
people, become more open. What are you seeing? What are you projecting?
Well, at the end of 2019, we had started a campaign to offer advertising on the website so that we would be able to offer more to the
Right.
community.
Right.
Now, with COVID and not a lot of networking, we felt like we needed to pull that, because I just there's no reason to try and advertise on a website that people may or may not be going to, because there really was not a whole lot of networking to be had.
Hmm.
So with things lightening up and opening up, we are revamping that. There's traditional advertising that will be on the website. Also, we're starting a brand new page called Preferred Partners,
Okay.
which is basically people that you will meet in the networking community.
Okay. Okay. Fantastic. Do you want to expound on preferred partners? Is it too early, or do you want to like talk about how people can get involved, or?
People can get involved. Just go to the website. I've got some information up on there, and
Okay.
you can fill out a form if you'd like more information.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. Sounds great. So let's just round this all together, and kind of, pull this as a summary here. What was your why in, coming from a at-home freelancer to diving, headfirst into networking, and to the point where you're even managing a lot of the, well, not managing, but connecting people to networking events here in NWA. What's your why?
There's a lot of value in being a connector, and I've discovered that when people come to you because they know you know the answers, they they trust you. Business will follow
Mm,
when you can offer a free service.
okay.
Um, that's my why really for the website. But as far as networking goes, it's made such a big difference in my business, and I feel like if people will just be willing to get out of their comfort zone, um, it'll make a big difference for them too.
Okay. And what would be, your one piece of tip or advice for that person to get, stepped outside the door? What would you say to them just to push them on out?
10 seconds of courage. Just do it.
Ah, nice. Have you read the 5-second rule?
No, no, but
Oh,
that's
okay.
good.
Well, I'll send you a link. You have to check it out. 5-second rule. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so one last time, again, last shameless plug. Where do they go?
NWANetworking.com.
Fantastic. And then they're obviously on all the socials, except not so much Twitter. So if you're a Twitter person, go to Facebook, go to Insta. All right. Well, thank you so much, Rachel. Again, this is 479 Spotlight's mission to provide free promotion to local businesses in NWA to give them more exposure and create more trust in the community. To get notified of new interviews, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube by searching 479 Spotlight or by going to 479spotlight.com. And if you are a business owner and would like to be featured, just schedule your interview on 479spotlight.com. Thank you for joining us today, and keep having fun, NWA. Rachel, you got any last words?
See you out there.
That's right. That's right. I look forward to it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.